In this video, we're gonna cut the bottom out of the gas tank. Jet. Welcome back to Phillips Hot Rod Garage. We got to get the gas tank off, and there's another problem I got to deal with. All right, guys, look how fast this thing's starting to rust. Look at this. Just since last week. I haven't put any metal prep on this. This little bracket's starting to get some rust on it. All this hard work I've done down here on the sub rail, on the A-pillar, it's all starting to get rust on it. On this side, I put some metal prep on that sub rail. It's not rusty at all, but that bracket, no metal prep, is starting to rust. The sub rail extension, I've already sandblasted that. It got a whole bunch of rust on it. So while I'm taking all this gas tank and firewall and everything off to work on this gas tank, I'm gonna pull all those pieces out, put some metal prep on all that. That way I can keep all that hard work from just rusting over again. All right, guys, I have destroyed my car. But hey, that's part of the process. All right, so we're gonna cut the bottom out of that. We're gonna get rust off of this, get it sandblasted. We got some rivets in here that have to be got out right here on both sides. And we gotta get some rust off that bracket. Gotta get started. Guys, I got tons of noise tonight. I got jets flying over, one right after the other. I got frogs making noise. I've had rain on the roof. They're keeping me company with a lot of noise tonight. All right, guys, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna put some metal prep into this spray bottle. I'm gonna use the spray bottle, spray down the brackets with the metal prep, let it drip into this pan. Just gonna let the stuff soak on there for a while till it gets all this surface rust off. Still gotta take the other brackets off the car, but I'm gonna go ahead and get a funnel, get it poured in the spray bottle, get started. All right, so I'm gonna let that piece soak while I take the other pieces out of the car. Jets are keeping me company tonight. They're coming by one right after the other. There we go. All right, so in the amount of time it took to get these pieces out of the car, this part, just a few minutes, almost rust free. Let's get these pieces done. All right, you can also use a wire brush on this stuff to help speed the process up. For now, while this stuff soaks, we're gonna go work on the gas tank. All right, guys, it's time to cut out this tank. Now, I'm not ruining a good tank. I wouldn't use this tank if I was building an original car. I'd find a different tank. There's holes rusted in the top of the tank right across here. The water's been leaking into this thing for a long time. The inside's full of trash and junk. It's rusty. The column mount for the steering column is broke off the bottom of it right here. So there's a whole lot better tanks out there. So we're gonna cut the bottom out of this one. I don't need this part back here where the gauges go. I'm gonna be using a 32 style dash on this, so I don't need that. Now guys, I really don't know exactly what I'm gonna get into when I start cutting this out. So I do know there's some bracing inside. I don't know exactly what all that bracing is attached to. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut around the outside edge of this tank, all the way around with my plasma cutter. I'm gonna leave maybe an inch or so lip all the way around. What that'll do is give me something to drill through to attach some clamps for wiring and stuff of that nature. I may need to bolt some bracketry into the bottom of the tank. I know I have to build some type of a steering column mount to go through the bottom of this. So I'm gonna leave a little bit all the way around the perimeter, maybe an inch or so all the way around. And I'll probably start by doing that first, and then I may end up cutting sections out a little at the time till I figure out how those braces are attached in there. The last thing I want to do is mess up anything on the outside. All we're going to do out here is fill in this hole here. We're going to cut this out and we're going to fill in these rust holes. Now what I want to do is I want to save this front section if I can. I'm going to make a wall hanger out of that. I think that'll be neat. I'll get the gauges that go here and the bezel and everything that goes there. I'll cut this piece out, hang that on the wall. I think that'll be nice. Everybody's got to have wall hangers in the shop, right? You guys can see my walls. I need a lot of hangers. These are new walls. All I got is insulation hanging. So I need some wall hangers. So anyway, that's the plan. I'm gonna grab the plasma cutter and get started cutting. off of there. All right guys, so I've cut down both sides, down the front, and along this edge here, right below the dash area. So now I'm gonna cut down around the perimeter here, see how much of it'll come apart. If none of it comes apart, then I'll just make some cuts right across here, try to get these pieces out so I can see what's going on the inside. Now here, I'm probably not going to be able to leave an inch like I wanted because of the way this is made, and I don't want to get down into this. I may at some point decide I want to weld this back in, so I want this to be left in pretty good shape so I can weld it back in if I decide to use that for my dash. I think I'm going 32 dash, but we'll see. I don't want to destroy it just in case. All right, so everything's about loose. The braces are right here, right through this area. There's two braces inside. So what I'm gonna do is just cut down the side of the brace, get this piece out of the way. Do the same thing on this side, cut down the side of the brace, get this piece out of the way so I can see what's going on the inside, because this front dash area is just about loose. All right, I think I'll cut right across here. Try to get this centerpiece out of the way. All right, so here's what we got. We got a brace there. We got a brace on that side. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come in here and cut it right through here, on both sides. That should make this dash area come loose. Well, there we go. Wind's up tonight. So I don't have this piece that goes right here. If anybody's got one you want to donate to the cause, all I'm gonna do is make a wall hanger out of it. So if you got one, get up with me. All right, so what we're doing here is we're going to leave this area here. The firewall's here, and the front of the tank is right here. And I'm gonna leave that because I don't know if this is what people do or not, but in my head, I'm thinking that'd be a good place under the dash to mount the fuse panel, some electrical things, or if I put a heater in here, it might be a good place to hang the heater from. You never know, but hey, I don't see any reason to cut it out. It might be a good place to mount some stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and just grind all this down nice and smooth, and I'm gonna leave that lip. As I said earlier, that might be a good place to bolt to. I could come in here and put some holes in here, run wires through here in some clamps right along that edge for the gauges and that sort of thing. We get this all sandblasted up inside and out so I can get started welding some rust holes in it. I think it's coming along pretty good. All right, so this curves quite a bit right in this area. So I decided to trim a little bit more of this off. Then I'm gonna get these pieces that's left over from these brackets. These things are probably called baffles, so my apologies if I'm calling them the wrong thing. So let me cut some more of this off, then I'll be ready to dress it off with the grinder. All right, I like the way that looks a whole lot better. So now I'm gonna try to get these pieces out right here so I can get this dressed off real nice. Then I'm gonna grind all this out, make it look good. Probably gonna be kind of crude, just a lot of grinding. Just knock it off there the best way I can. All right, guys, there it is. Looks good all the way around. I really like the way this turned out here. At least if I need to screw something from the inside of the car or bolt something from the inside, I can bolt to this without having to go through the outside of the firewall. It looks good. I'm happy with that. All right, I'm gonna stick it back on here and see how it looks from the inside. All right, so there it is, guys. Looks good under there. I'm gonna come back in here and put that 32 dash right across here. Thing's gonna look good. What a mess. And now we gotta check on those rusty parts. Oh yeah, there we go, no more rust. That phosphoric acid dried metal prep left them nice and rust free. It kind of leaves a little greenish tint in some areas. Gray, green, depending on how thick the stuff is. If you got it on there in some really thick places, it'll leave it kind of greenish color. But that looks good. Those parts are ready to bolt in. Now, this piece I didn't work on because I still got a lot of work to do on it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and weld up this oval shaped hole. That I don't need that anymore. And then I gotta weld this corner back together here. So that piece gotta have some work. So I'll probably work on that piece in the next video. And also in the next video, I'll go ahead and cut this fuel filler out and go ahead and weld a patch in that. All right, so what's left to do on the cow? We gotta cut out the fuel filler, get a patch welded in there. We gotta put a patch panel on the top of the tank where it's rusted out. We gotta fit the outer cowl section on the driver's side. We gotta finish up that sub rail extension I just showed you. Then we gotta sandblast the tank, sandblast the firewall, get some rivets out of some holes in the firewall. Then we're gonna put the whole cowl together and have a completely finished front cowl section. We're a couple of videos from having it done. Guys, I appreciate you hanging out. We're gonna make something nice out of this old rusty Model A. Appreciate you subscribing. Appreciate the comments. The 32 and the 37 pickup in the poll we did last week, they're even. So I'll just pick one and start working on it. Right now, I'm worried more about this Model A. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.